Hello, Quantum Tribe, my cuties, and a warm welcome to this month's episode of Quantum Tribe. This is so exciting because this is our very first one. And it would be amazing if you could record where you are at this point in your life when it comes to your health and well-being, maybe your relationships, your income, your level of happiness, some of the dreams and goals that you have for yourself. And then we'll take a look at that 1 year from today. Because our purpose with Quantum Tribe is to help you become the greatest, grandest version of yourself. So this month, our focus is on frequency. What we want to do within the tribe is get to a point where we are all understanding the quantum language. So the ultimate life for all of us would be a life where you are the creator of your life instead of the reactor to life. The quantum way means that we understand that life is happening for us. So when we inevitably hit those challenges, we're going to look at it and say, okay, so this is here to serve me. What can I learn from this? How does this make me a better person? How does this get me closer to my goals? The quantum life does not mean that everything in our life is going to be perfect. There will be the challenges, there will be those painful moments that come, but we will be better equipped to handle those when it arrives. The ultimate life is a life of vibrant health and well-being. We all want to be healthy and strong. We want to be slim. We want to look amazing. We want to be fit and have vibrant energy. So I'm saying if this is what we want, let's go full out. Let's create this vibrant health, well-being, fitness. We want success and abundance, all of us. This is what we want for ourselves, our lives, our families. So why not go massive success and massive abundance? We all want relationships. So whether you're in a relationship right now or you're looking to attract the right partner and create this relationship, let's play full out and create epic relationships. The best life is a life of purpose and meaning. We feel fulfilled. We feel like we're living our lives on purpose when we are contributing. When we live our lives just for ourselves, it is my goals, what I want, my home, my car, my money, my everything. We feel that life is contracted. It has no real meaning and purpose behind it. But the moment we use our lives, even if it is the results that we got for ourselves, to inspire one other person to make those shifts in their lives, we have served a purpose, and that gives our life meaning. So my question to you is, how big of an impact do you want to make? Because I guarantee you, when you get onto this path of living the quantum life and you start manifesting, you start becoming happier, lighter, more energetic, you start looking differently, because that field, the energy that you're putting out is going to shift, and the people around you are going to start noticing that. So how big of an impact do you want to make? You can take right where you are, whether it is a business or a job that you have, whether it is your family, and you can start making an impact in the environment that you're already in right now. And who knows, over the course of the next year, how big that footprint will be. We want to be living with passion and enthusiasm. I think the worst thing is that state of apathy where we go from day to day just simply doing the same things to get by. That life is not exciting. There's no enthusiasm there. But when we know that there is a purpose, there is something that we're working towards, that we're making constant progress in our lives, that's when the passion and the enthusiasm comes. And we do all of this for the greater good of all. That means we do not harm ourselves, we do not harm other people, we do not harm animals, we do not harm our planet. So for the greater good of all. Now let's look at this word frequency. We're going to be using it a lot as we go through this year. So frequency, another word for it would be vibration. We sometimes just use the word energy, and it all means the same thing. So Dr. David Hawkins came up with this emotional scale where they actually measured the frequency of different emotions. So when you look at the scale, you'll see right at the bottom of the scale, emotions like shame or guilt or blame, apathy is down there, fear, grief, all of these emotions are down there. And you'll notice in the funnel, right at the bottom is suffering. So when we're in that lower state of emotion, we're actually in a very contracted state. So we're not expanding, we're not growing, we're not progressing. We're in a very contracted state. And that state is a state of suffering. And at any point in time, we can make that choice that this life is not working. The way I feel inside is not working. And when we make that choice and we say, surely there has to be a better way, that is your moment of awakening. The moment when you say, I don't have to live with this for life. Today, more and more people on the planet are living in depression. And because we've been taught in society that you don't wear your heart on your sleeve, so we have to put on this facade that we're okay. Someone says, how are you doing? And we go, I'm fine. And that's it. But inside, we're dying. Inside, we're in pain. So now is the moment where we need to get real. The quantum life is about living authentically. So we look at ourselves within the group, there is acceptance of wherever you are on this journey, on this path. When we accept that this is where I'm at, and when we make that decision that I don't want to live this way anymore. I don't want to be angry all the time, or I don't want to be fearful. I have big goals and dreams, but fear is the thing that's holding me back. It's keeping me stuck. It's keeping me complacent. So if we don't want that anymore, we don't want to be feeling those emotions of guilt or blaming other people for the way our lives are right now, we can make that choice to say, I'm willing to let this go. I'm willing to step up the scale to see how I can start living a better life. Now, when we start vibrating at a frequency of just about 450, at that point, you can manifest anything that you desire. Anything can be yours. So when we look at the scale, we look at the emotion of love, and that emotion vibrates at a frequency of 500 hertz. So that is slightly above that point. Wouldn't it be exciting if we can spend the dominant part of our lives, the majority of our time in that higher state? And that would mean that your life would move into a state of flow. That state of flow means we are connected to this quantum field. I will use the word quantum field. You can substitute it with any word you like. Some people will call this God or unified field or the universe, right? Whatever term you want to use is perfectly okay. Within the quantum tribe, we don't want anyone to change their religion or anything that they believe in right now. What we're saying is that if you're a Christian, be the best Christian you can be. If you're Hindu, be the best Hindu you can be. If you are spiritual, not religious, be the best spiritual person you can be, right? Quantum living is about being the best version of yourself and being authentically you. So you don't have to fit into a box when you live the quantum life. You're going to look at yourself and say, this is who I am, this is where I am, this is what I want to create, and this is the journey of creating your best life. So when you look right down the scale, you've got emotions there at a frequency of 20 hertz. When we're feeling those emotions, what do you think is happening in your life? Because the frequency that we put out, we're going to attract people and circumstances back to us on that level. So when we get those really difficult challenges coming to us, it's because we are vibrating lower down the scale. But when we start shifting this vibration higher up the scale, and our goal should be getting to the love or above. So feeling love, feeling gratitude, a deep sense of gratitude, feeling joy, feeling at peace. These are the beautiful emotions that when we feel that, we expand our field, we connect more fully with the quantum field, we get into a state of flow. And when you're there, this is when the magic happens. This is when the miracles start happening. You start manifesting things so quickly. Synchronicities are happening. You think about something and then very quickly you'll find that something is starting to shift, to happen, to come into your experience. And living this way is the most exciting way we can live. And it's not going to happen in one step. You know, I'm not giving you some magic formula. I'm saying that as we start now, we become aware day by day of what is my frequency? Where am I at? And if I'm on the lower end of the scale, can I just move it up one step? If you're feeling anger, it is actually better than when you're feeling fear or when you're feeling apathy or guilt or blame or shame, right? If you take that emotion of shame, this is something we have all felt at some point in our lives. When we start something, we have a goal, we have a project, and we fail at something. Or maybe you failed some subject back in school, and when we look at that, you know, they put a red ring around the mark when you fail, and we look at that and we feel the sense of shame. When other people shame us, you know, sometimes they say, but why did you do it this way? You could have done better. You could have done something differently. Excuse me. So getting into that state, I'm going to pause for a second. Sorry, my cuties, I had to pause the video for a moment there. I'm actually not going to be editing these videos because I want you to feel that we're in the room together. So yeah, I start coughing and I need some water. So let's get back to this, right? So on the higher scale, if we focusing on the emotion of love, it is about us getting into the flow state, right? So let's look at the law of frequency. Higher frequencies will always dissolve lower frequencies. So let's go back there and look at it, right? So when you're feeling love, it is impossible to be sad in the same moment. When you're feeling love, it is impossible to feel anger or fear in the same moment. So when we make the choice that we want to start feeling these emotions of gratitude and love more often, we start shifting our frequency. Now, what are you feeling, or what frequency do you think you are vibrating when you are judging or gossiping or complaining? The negative self-talk is something that I think we all do from time to time. When we say things like, you know, how could I have done that? What's wrong with me? Why can't I get this right? I'm such a failure. I'm such an idiot. You know, a lot of the time we say things like this to ourselves because we hold ourselves to such high standards that we're more hard on ourselves than anybody else can be, right? The self-worth is huge. We see people sometimes and think, oh, that person is so successful and so confident, and yet they may not have that sense of self-worth. And we see it in the behavior. We see it when we have to overcompensate. We have to change ourselves around to be somebody that we're not, to get approval. We work harder than everybody else. We are more stressed out. We have no time. We're too busy. And all of this speaks to a lowered sense of self-worth. Because when you're feeling completely worthy, you have nothing to prove. It's complete acceptance of who you are. It's pure authenticity. So that is something all of us need to work on. So if I were to ask you right now, on a scale of 1 to 100, feel, don't think it, feel it, go into your heart and feel, where is my sense of self-worth right now? And just feel that number. And remember that this is where it is right now, right? So as we do this work over the next few months, keep tapping in every now and then to see whether that number is increasing and how that is showing up in your life. The higher frequencies is when we have belief in ourselves. We believe that we are capable. We feel this emotion of love for ourselves. We respect ourselves. We know that we are worthy, just as we are, without having to prove something or earn love and respect. The law of reflection means that the world is your mirror. That means everything that's in your life, whether it is people, relationships, finances, health, your level of happiness, everything that is in your life is reflecting back to you your internal state or frequency. So based on your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, your actions, everything that you hold within you creates that frequency, that vibration, and the outside world is simply there to reflect that back to you. Now, whenever we talk about the law of reflection, I get lots and lots of people fighting this one because they feel, okay, so if my car got stolen, I'm not a thief, so how is that a reflection? How is that a mirror of me? Okay, because I'm a very honest person. So the reflection is not always literal. In a case where your car got stolen, you need to go back and say, okay, so what is this reflecting to me? Very often we get into watching the news every day, reading crime reports. The focus is on crime. There's even things like Crime Watch. What does that mean? We're focusing on something, we're going to create more of it, right? So if within you, you are feeling unsafe and you feel, the crime rate is so high, theft is so high, we are not safe, we have to put on the burglar guards in our windows, we have to have alarm systems, we've got to really protect ourselves because we are not safe. That is the belief within ourselves that will create that outside of you. So that is how the world is your mirror. It's not always literal, but when something happens on the outside, look for that on the inside. Look for the reflection of it on the inside. What needs to shift internally so that the external circumstances start to shift? If you have difficult people in your life, look at these people and say, what are they reflecting back to me? If someone is OCD, like really, really rigid about how things must happen and how everything must be in its place perfectly all of the time, and that really annoys you, then you've got to look at it and say, what is this reflecting back to me? Because I'm not OCD, so what is it reflecting to me? Is it a part of you that wants to be more organized and feels that, the way I do things is a bit chaotic and I want more order? Or is it that part of you that's always been so in control and maybe you just need to relax and let it go? So look at the reflection, not in a literal sense, but that it is there to show you something. Now, the rule is, if it bothers you, that means there is an emotional charge, so there is something there for you to see, understand, and shift. But if something is happening on the outside and it doesn't have any emotional charge, doesn't bother you in the least, then that is not a lesson for you. That is just something happening out there in the world, so be it. Now, reflections are not always negative. So we mustn't just look and see, you know, what negative stuff is happening and how is that a reflection. That is where our greatest learning happens. However, there's also positive reflections. So think about people you admire. You know, there could be someone that is exceptionally good at business. There could be somebody that is very compassionate. There's somebody that is really kind and generous. There's somebody that is so confident and self-assured. Or maybe you notice that somebody else is a real go-getter. So whatever it is you see in the people you admire, ask yourself, why do I admire them? Do I admire them because they're confident? Do I admire them because they're compassionate? Do I admire them because they're making a difference in the world? And whatever you see, whatever compliments you give people, that also is a reflection for you. It could mean that these are qualities that you already possess, but you're not seeing it in yourself, right? You see compassion in somebody, look at your life and say, that means I am compassionate too. Otherwise, I couldn't see it. You cannot see on the outside what you don't hold on the inside. Just as we're saying the negative ones have lessons for us, the positive ones are showing us the best parts of ourselves. So let's start seeing the positive reflections as well and claiming this. The law of attention, this is a very interesting one because it states that whatever you focus on or whatever you put your attention on is going to expand, is going to grow. So what are you giving your attention to when you complain or when you judge? When you look at that, it's clearly that we are giving our attention to what is not working or what is missing. So when we put our attention on what is wrong, what is not working, we're going to create more of what is wrong and what is not working. Right? I'm sure right now you're thinking, oh, I'm never going to think about debt again. Right. What are you giving your attention to when you give thanks, when you're in a state of gratitude, or when you pay a compliment? When we're grateful, we say, you know, I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my warm bed or my hot shower. I'm grateful for the food that I have. I'm grateful for love. I'm grateful for companionship. I'm grateful for the job that I have, the income that I have coming in. So when we start being grateful, we're focusing on what we already have. And that is what we're going to expand. So let's become very aware of what we're putting our attention on. The law of attraction. You are a magnetic being. So just imagine like a magnet, right? There are some things that magnets attract, so it'll attract other metals. There's some things that a magnet will repel. So if it's the opposite ends, it will push it away, repel it. And there are some things like maybe plastic or a chunk of wood. It's absolutely non-reactive to that. So the very basic rule of the law of attraction, or the simplest way we can state it, is like attracts like. So we say, you know, I want to be rich. So we put that out and we feel, okay, so I'm putting this out. I want to be rich, so I must see riches come to me. We wonder, why is that not happening? Because you state that you want to be rich, but what is your frequency? Is your frequency aligned to abundance, or is your frequency more aligned to I don't have it right now. Where is it going to come from? When is it going to come? How is it going to come to me? I've got these bills to pay. Where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? So we can either focus on having something or the absence of that thing. It's like two sides of the same coin. So if you look at it and you say heads is what you want to create, so that is the abundance. On the flip side of that coin is the lack of abundance or the absence of abundance. So we think that we're focusing on the abundance, but every time we say, oh, but I'm focusing on this and nothing's happening, you're going to the flip side of the coin, which means you're moving away. Alignment takes time. So the more you align your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your expectations to abundance, you're moving closer and closer and closer. And one day you hit that frequency. And the moment you hit the frequency is the moment it comes into your life. That is how law of attraction works. So your frequency has to be an absolute match to the frequency of that thing that you desire, that thing that you want to create or manifest in your life. So let's go back there again and look at this grid, right? If we want abundance, for example, it stands to reason that you can't be at the level of anger or pride or fear, desire. You can't be down there on the scale and expect something of a higher vibration to manifest into your life. So this is the scale that we're going to constantly go back to and see, where am I on the scale and how can I get a step higher? It's nearly impossible to go from the bottom of the scale to the top of the scale in one jump. But if you can say, I'm at guilt right now, can I just take it up? Maybe anger is better than that, so you get really angry about, I'm guilty about this, but you know what? I'm really angry. I'm pissed off right now. It takes you a step higher. It's not ideal. You don't want to live there and stay in anger, but it's better than feeling guilt. Then you take it up a notch, right? Can you get to that point where you just that willingness, I'm willing to give this a shot. I'm willing to try a new way. I'm willing to focus on this frequency and see where it gets me. I don't understand all of it. This quantum stuff is too complicated. And what is quantum physics? And I don't understand all of these things. It doesn't matter. You understand how you feel. You know when you're feeling a positive emotion or a negative emotion. You know that. If you can simply focus on that feeling place and focus on improving the feeling state, you will see the difference. You will see the results in your life start to shift. So our practice for the next month, several times in the day, I want you to say stop. And then notice your frequency, right? So what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I doing? What am I focusing on? Am I focusing on what I want or what I don't want? Am I irritated, frustrated, angry? Or am I feeling love, peace, gratitude? What am I feeling? How can I raise my frequency? All right, so we're going to do this several times. The reason I want you to do this is we need to know what is my starting point. And when I first started doing this exercise, I was really, really amazed because I thought I was one of the most positive people I knew. And when I started doing this exercise, I realized how often I was in judgment. Looking at other people and thinking, what's wrong with them? Why can't they get this right? Or, they can do better. I see people at their potential, and when they're underperforming, I feel like, what's going on? So I had to become aware of that to be able to shift it, to come from a place of greater acceptance. It doesn't mean that I'm always in a state of acceptance and I'm always doing the right thing. No, hell no. I'm also on this journey of, moving to this place where I want to be more constantly in the flow state, more constantly manifesting the things that I desire in my life as well. So I want each of you to take some time, sit down, get a journal for your quantum experience, because you'd like to see your progress over time. And start putting down there, what is the one thing that I really, really, really would like to manifest for myself in the next year or in the next 5 years? What is that one thing that when I see the manifestation of this, it will be this feeling or this knowing that I am a master manifester. I did this. And it doesn't matter, we can start as the months go by. We're going to do lots of manifestation exercises where we'll start with the smaller things and then we'll build up from there. But the internal work needs to be done first. So we need to focus on this frequency several times a day. Stop. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I doing now? What am I focusing on? So where's my frequency? Am I on the bottom half, top half? How can I increase it a notch? All right. I'm also going to be sending you a meditation. That's going to be our Quantum Tribe meditation. It's going to be a very short one that you could just listen to in the morning or at any time when you feel your frequency drop. You could just listen in and it will shift your frequency very, very quickly. So Quantum Tribe, I'm really, really excited to be a part of your journey, and I just feel so much love for you, and I would love to see our community thrive and become more and more conscious as the days and weeks go by. Thank you very much for being here and sharing this with me today.